Ziena Jalil is a diversity advocate, business leader and a consulting partner at SenateSHJ. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
Now, I believe that you will be joining us at the next PwC Herald Talks event, speaking specifically about diversity and inclusion. Can you give us some more details about what is diversity and inclusion?
Diversity is about acknowledging that, we are all unique as individuals and recognizing those differences, which could be along the lines of gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, physical ability, age, beliefs, socioeconomic background, the list goes on. But too often we use diversity to refer to minorities. So if anyone looked at the two of us, they would assume I was the diversity because you're the white guy and I'm the brown lady. But if I took you to a super diverse women event, you would very quickly find yourself as the minority. So true diversity then is about, a group of people who are similar in some ways and different in others. And that's where inclusion comes in. So inclusion is about involvement, empowerment, and belonging. And if diversity is, who we have in terms of our people, then inclusion is about what we do so that those people can all feel welcome, respected, and valued. And if I could give a very simplistic example of this in the workplace, we all have morning teas and Friday drinks. Right?
Yes.
And they're done to try and bring people together. But if your catering for that does not meet the needs of all the people there, you are a diverse organization, but you're not being inclusive.
And can you give a personal example of a project that you've worked on which has helped a business with diversity and inclusion?
So one of the organizations that I work with is Tuputoa, and they exist to support Māori and Pacifica tertiary students secure employment in corporate New Zealand. So these are often students who are the first in their families to undertake tertiary education. They haven't, seen those role models in those areas. So Tuputoa works with corporate partners like banks, utilities companies, telcos, strategic consulting firms and so on, and help secure internships for these students to go and get an experience in corporate New Zealand. And while that has had a major impact on the students, the companies themselves have found great learnings through this experience. So for example, in the area of recruitment, now if you are interviewing a young Māori or Pacifica person who hasn't been in this space before, and they're not making eye contact during the interview, and they're being very modest about their achievements. And it doesn't mean they're being disrespectful or that they haven't achieved anything in their lives. In fact, they're being very respectful and they're being true to their culture. So, in those cultures, success isn't measured by individual achievement as such. It also takes into account the impact on families and communities. So just being mindful of those things when you're recruiting, otherwise you cut someone off right at the start.
And with that in mind, say you have a very inclusive business, how does that lead to success?
Study after study has shown us that businesses that embrace diversity and inclusion outperform their peers. Diverse and inclusive organizations have a great employer brand, so they're able to attract and retain good talent, which is really important when you have a skills shortage. Customers also perceive these companies positively because they're seen as doing the right thing. Their products and services are often more relevant. Diversity drives innovation. So you think about, you get a group of people together who've all got very different perspectives. Whatever solution or product or service you come up with as a result of that is going to be so much richer because of that, all the different minds that have come together for it. Shareholders love these companies, great financial returns, but obviously the reputational gains as well are great. Diversity and inclusion is becoming a bit like sustainability. Potential staff, customers, shareholders, stakeholders, they're all looking at performance in this area as a barometer to decide whether or not to support a company.
And is there a particular brand or organisation that has taken these steps that you look to for a measure of more companies should be like that?
Yeah, I think there are a number of organisations, actually. We're quite fortunate in New Zealand, who we see really, taking a step up, making good gains in this area. And you look at the finalists in this year's Diversity Awards, for example, there are a range of companies, who are showing great leadership, who have put in place actions to empower women or LGBTQI communities, or who are recognising workplace demographics, and how they're changing. But then you also have organizations that exist purely to support diversity, and one such company is the Cookie Project. Now, these guys exist to provide employment for people with disabilities. And I think a lot of people would, find it quite interesting to learn that 1 in 4 Kiwis suffers from a disability. And the employment rate for people with disabilities is only 22%, when compared to 70% for people who don't have disabilities. So here we have a company that has harnessed the full potential of diversity and at the same time is making a great impact in the lives of many people.
So would you argue that with equal opportunity comes equal outcome, or is that a bit different?
With equal opportunity, I think you don't necessarily get equal outcome. I would say you'd get better outcome because you're getting the best out of everyone. I mean, you think about any organization. So I think the more access we provide to more people to join in, the better outcomes we can get.
Thank you very much, Ziena. And if you would like to see Ziena speak in person, we've got the PwC Herald Talks event taking place on July 24th. Tickets are available at pwcheraldtalks.co.nz.